Champ Unit. Today is the first day of fall. While it is sad to see summer come and go so quickly, while it is sad to see the final days at the Jersey Shore come to its conclusion, we are all at least anticipating what is to come in the pro wrestling world. Starting in October, when WWE SmackDown debuts on Fox, when AEW debuts on TNT, when we get the NXT vs. AEW wars, when we get Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt for the Universal Championship inside Hell in a Cell at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So much is happening in October. So it is sad to see summer in our rear-view mirrors, but what we're looking forward to is captivating the pro wrestling community, industry, and business as a whole. Now, when you talk about the business, that brings up the interesting point that you're trying to attract as many eyeballs as you can to your product, even and especially when you go to your house shows. Well, this weekend, WWE was in Canada. And what was their big major attraction? Well, they decided to not wait to Hell in a Cell. They wanted to parade Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt in front of the Calgary crowd, in front of those house shows in Canada. Now, that's not uncommon. Vince McMahon usually will have his pay-per-view matches. Those performers will participate in some house show matches beforehand to basically work out the kinks, rehearse and go over what needs to be gone over, iron it all out so when you hit the pay-per-view, everything is pristine and you're on the right page, the same page. So it's not that unlikely. However, it is shocking that they would use Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins, that championship Hell in a Cell match, to be put on a live event. That was something that the Amplified Man was not only watching intensely to, but intuitively, because I knew what happens in that match, you could be seeing some of those nuggets in that Hell in a Cell match. So I was watching this carefully, and I was able to watch the match in full a couple of different times from a couple of different views and videos. And this is my assessment. Over the next few minutes, I will be going over as a full review and reaction to Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt. The Fiend, I should say. Their first interaction together as The Fiend in this Universal Champion Seth Rollins. Because again, they're not waiting till Hell in a Cell. They've already taken on each other, and this is what had happened through the eyes of the Amplified Man. Wyatt, first and foremost, had a full 5-minute entrance. 5 minutes. Not a second before 5-minute mark. In fact, it was, I think, 5 minutes, 14 seconds. But they gave him the full 5-minute entrance. It started with the Firefly Funhouse theme. Then Ramblin' Rabbit appears on the Tron. So right off the gate, this is not the same entrance as SummerSlam. So again, a lot of these house shows before the pay-per-view, this is what they're trying new things. And they're going to see if it works, they're going to actually put them on the pay-per-view and going forward. So that's why these nuggets are kind of interesting. Ramblin' Rabbit appears up on the Tron. And Ramblin' Rabbit warns Rollins to just run away now, dude. He tells Rollins the Fiend is one bad dude. Wyatt appears on the Tron, shoves Ramblin' Rabbit down to shut him up, but confirms Ramblin' Rabbit's words to be true, saying Ramblin' Rabbit is right, you have no idea what you're in for. The Fiend is menacing, he remembers everything, and he's about to tear you apart. Let me in, end quote. The Firefly Funhouse theme plays a second time. And then we go into an eerie series of drum clashes with the Fiend image appearing after every drum clash. We then go into a third playing of the Firefly Funhouse with no visuals on the Tron. Just the Firefly Funhouse theme and the dark screen behind it. We then get to the new Bray Wyatt theme from SummerSlam, which, by the way, had a few extra words in it beforehand. Before he actually says, let me in the theme, there was extra words that I couldn't make out. So it'll be interesting to see if that is added into the new theme. We then see the Fiend appear, and it is an awesome pop. And the build-up was just so epic and intense that there was just no way he wasn't going to get a pop as such. Interesting note, he did not have the Wyatt lantern head. You know, that severed... Yeah, I don't want to get into it. It's badass, though. It's pretty damn cool. He didn't have that. And we've heard for a while now that it was deemed by WWE to be too scary, and they had complaints. I hope that's not the case, because if that's the case, it's a multitude of issues. Number one, that's how sad of a society we now live in, where you can't even have an entertainment prop being brought down to the ring because it's too scary. And number two, that is one of the cool visuals that we saw out of Bray Wyatt and this new Fiend character that captivated us. It's another layer to the overall character and the badassery that comes with it. So if he is no longer carrying that head, that sucks, man. That might be a little detail to a lot of people, but that is a major detail in the overall character structure. Instead, he just had his old school lantern, and it's not the same. So that really sucks. I hope that is not the case. Even if it's just pay-per-views that he brings the Wyatt head, I'm cool with it. But keep it in your arsenal. Don't just get rid of it and cave in to today's PC world that we live in, where everybody is in their fucking safety zone. Relax with that shit. It's an entertainment show at the end of the day. You go to the movies, you see a lot fucking worse. The match itself, alright, that was the entrance. And by the way, I do want to give Seth Rollins credit, because from what I saw in one of the videos, they would pan to him a couple of times. Seth Rollins was selling the shit the whole 5 minutes. Looking behind him, looking all over, looking as if he was really nervous. Really cool. He could have just sat there and been like, alright, I'm waiting. Like Finn Balor did at SummerSlam. Balor went to the outside and just waited. But you know what? People are still looking at you. Sell it a little bit. Rollins sold the shit out of Wyatt's entrance, and that, to me, is badass. And again, Wyatt's entrance, 5 minutes long, a lot of new shit in this entrance. It'll be interesting to see if they carry that into Hell in a Cell and going forward. And again, Rambling Rabbit was a big part of it. They actually had Wyatt appear on the Tron to deliver a message. They had a lot of drum clashes with the visuals of Wyatt after every clash. And then we went into the actual theme, which again had some more words in it before the Let Me In. So a lot of interesting notes in the entrance alone. The match itself, 8 minutes long, not long at all, but they carried a good presentation. There was a lot of good storytelling in the 8 minutes, so it's not as bad as it sounds. It was only 8 minutes, but there was a lot of storytelling, and it fits the Wyatt character. It started beautifully with Wyatt in the corner, literally right after the bell rang. Wyatt's in the corner, Rollins goes to go after him, the lights go out with a drum clash, the lights go back on, Wyatt is in a different corner, and he gets the upper hand. So that was actually really fucking cool. And for the first minute to 2 minutes, Wyatt had the upper hand. They took it outside for another minute, Strowman around the ring, beating the shit out of each other more. Wyatt beating up on Rollins. Rollins then went back into the ring where Wyatt went back in, followed him in, and we had kind of a twisting of the neck by Wyatt, which got the whole crowd popping. I don't know if they were, twisty they were calling it. I don't know what they were calling Wyatt. But he twisted the neck of Rollins, and he then goes for Sister Abigail, but Seth fights out and gains the upper hand. So the Sister Abigail was unsuccessful. Now we have a Pele kick and subsequent super kicks, a couple of them. And then Rollins hits Burn It Down, the stomp. But Wyatt no-sells it. Rollins goes for another Burn It Down stomp, and Wyatt catches him midair with the mandible claw. Wyatt has him in the corner and won't let go of the claw, so the ref actually calls for the bell, and the Fiend is disqualified. Post-match, the Fiend seems to be struggling with what he has just done. So he kind of drops to all fours and he's signaling to Rollins, hit him again, hit me again, with the stomp. He's on all fours and he's telling Rollins, hit me again. So Rollins obliges and goes for the stomp, but Wyatt, again, no-sells it. Rollins then again delivers a super kick, a couple more, actually, super kicks. I think Wyatt took about 20 super kicks in this match. And then Wyatt is back down. Rollins delivers a third stomp. This time Wyatt is selling the effects, but still clawing to get up rather quickly. And this is when Rollins delivers a fourth and a fifth stomp to put Wyatt down for good. Or so we thought. It reminds me of the old school horror movies like, I don't know, Halloween. Remember when Michael Myers just would not stay down no matter what you did with him? The Dr. Loomis quote that is just one of the best in the history of the movie industry. I shot him 6 times! But Michael Myers is off the ground. Even though you shot him 6 times, he's up and moving and you don't know where he is. This guy just wouldn't stay down. Even after 5 stomps, he was down for a minute. But when Rollins grabbed his championship and loomed over him to see if he was still down and out, Wyatt jumped up and got him in another claw. Almost immediately, the lights went down with the screeching and the laughter echoing around the arena. And when the lights finally went back up, Wyatt was nowhere to be seen. Rollins was trying to come to after getting mandible clawed 2 times. That was that. That was the whole, from the entrance to the match to the post-match extracurricular activities was around 18 minutes. All in all, damn good presentation. All in all, if I'm at a house show, that I just got my money's worth out of them too. In the show that they just put on. Rollins didn't look weak at one point. Not one point in the match. Rollins actually won by DQ and kept his championship. Got his super kicks in, got his stomps in. And Wyatt didn't look weak when it was all said and done. Yes, he was flat on his back one time, I believe, right? After the 5th stomp. But that was it. And it took 5 stomps. And even though he was DQ'd and lost the match, he had the upper hand. And the no-selling on the stomps was beautiful. It fits his character. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody should be no-selling. If your name is The Undertaker, you get a pass. If your name is Bray Wyatt, you get a pass. There's not many I can count on. Definitely on one hand, and probably not even the full hand, that I can count can get a pass on no-selling the stomp. Bray Wyatt and that Fiend character is a character to do such. So that added on another layer to that character. And I love the no-selling. I want to see more of that. He needs to feel special. There needs to be a feeling that a normal move, not once, not 4, not 5 times, is going to take him out. So I loved it. Both superstars look pretty strong going into Hell in a Cell. I hope that is just a house show outcome. I hope they're not trying some trickery or DQ bullshit at Hell in a Cell. It's inside the cell, so we don't want to see no trickery or DQ bullshit anyway, because I think that can't even happen. You're in a cell, we need a definitive winner. There is no bullshit endings, or there shouldn't be. So that DQ will suffice for a house show, not at the actual pay-per-view. But that is the breakdown, guys. That is my ultimate review. First of all, what actually happened in Canada between Rollins and The Fiend, and my reaction and review of it and how I feel about it. And I liked it. As long as they don't try to bring that outcome bullshit into the actual pay-per-view. I liked it. And I like all the anticipation that was added to the entrance. If you thought his SummerSlam entrance was badass, this one even better. So it looks like they're toying with a lot of shit. Or who knows? Every time he comes out, maybe it's going to be a different type of an entrance. That'll really be captivating, but that would mean a lot of time, attention, and detail going into it. Does WWE have that to go around? Or even if they do have the time, will they actually give it to their superstars? That remains to be seen. But a lot of this, to me, feels like from Bray Wyatt's own dome piece. Bray Wyatt is so creative. This all seems like his shit, his cross to bear, and I'm loving it. Let Bray Wyatt do his own shit. Let him be creative. Give him what he needs and wants. And let's all step back and watch it all unfold and be wildly entertained. Sorry about the spoiler, guys. Rollins and The Fiend have already faced each other, and it was pretty fucking badass. Can't wait to see what they pull out at Hell in a Cell. Before I end this video, I want to give major props to Lacey Evans. She was pulled over in Canada. And she stayed in character the whole time, calling the officer a nasty, and he'll be getting a call from her lawyers. It was awesome. Some people think this was just a work. It could have been. The traffic stop, I can tell you, was real, guys. That was actually, that happened. Their police department actually confirmed that that was a legit traffic stop. So, whether Lacey was actually in character, if so, so badass. Or even if she said, hey, dude, can we do this real quick? Still badass. I miss when superstars were their character 24/7. Kayfabe, motherfucker. I miss that shit. We live in a day and age where that's all but gone. And I miss when Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, that was them 24/7. You weren't going to get a different version of them because it's just who they were. It's who they are. And I miss that, you know? So Lacey Evans, this isn't the first time. She's been playing her character in a lot of different scenarios. I'm really starting to love that shit, man. You know? And I think a lot of superstars can go about their business the same way. It's okay to be in character more often than not when you're on the public spectrum, you know? Or if you're going to do something cool like film your traffic stop, why not be in character, man? Do you know who I am? I'm Lacey Evans. You're going to hear from my lawyer. You're nasty. I got to get out of Canada. I loved it, man. Sorry about the bad accent, dude. I loved it, though. I really did. No disrespect to Canada. We love you guys. But Lacey Evans, man, she tooled on that entire country. Pretty fucking funny. So we'll see where that goes, too, man. But that was a legit traffic stop, guys. And Lacey Evans was in character. That's my cue to go get a fucking coffee. Thanks for joining me for this impromptu video, guys. I wanted to get out there my thoughts on Rollins and The Fiend Part 1 because I'm really interested in this Hell in a Cell match. And I'm so interested that every little detail I am not letting fly under the radar. I'm going to fucking dissect it. And when we get to that pay-per-view, they deserve the very best possible show / outcome / match that they can possibly put on. And, you know, I'm going to review everything leading up to it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I know it was a lot all over the place because it was 18 minutes of all over the place. Again, the match itself was only about 8 minutes. The entire segment was 18 minutes. The entrance alone for Bray was 5 minutes. They went outside a little bit. There was some no-selling on some stomps. It was basically a lot of super kicks, stomps. So hopefully you guys stuck with the actual review of it. But I don't know, man. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And we'll see what they have for Hell in a Cell. For now, get your coffees, whip the rest of Monday's ass, and we'll tune in to Monday Night Raw tonight and hope they put on a damn good show. We're hoping, guys. There's supposed to be a rematch between Chad Gable and Baron Corbin. And then there's, I believe, a fatal 5-way for the Universal Championship, or the next person in line, I think. I have to reread it, guys. I got this literally right before I started filming this video. But there's a fatal 5-way, and I think the winner gets a future Universal title shot. I think it was the Universal title. And if that's the case, then why wouldn't the King of the Ring get that? They just won the King of the Ring. Am I missing something? So if you win the King of the Ring, you have to face your finals opponent another time, but you don't get a Universal title shot after The Fiend? It's all over the place. But that's what we got. Chad Gable versus Baron Corbin rematch from the finals last week. We have a fatal 5-way #1 contenders match. I believe some of the participants in there, guys, by the way, that Fatal 5 is Ricochet, AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, I think, was in there. Maybe Cedric? Yeah, I don't know, guys. You gotta look it up, man. Again, I just saw this press release right before I started making this video, but those are some of the names. Also, Sasha Banks will be in action against Nikki Cross, one half of the tag team champions for the women. So they've already put out there a bunch of segments. Now all I need them to do is actually get creative and get interesting so we can be captivated by this shit tonight. If they do that, it would be majorly welcomed. Thank you. And of course, I'll be with you guys in the morning to review and react to Monday Night Raw tonight. That's it. The Amplified Man for now. Yowie wowie. Check you later.
Officer, there must be some way we can rectify this situation. Maybe I can give you a little freak nasty. Do you like to get nasty officer.